Good morning, everyone. I'm here to review the agenda for our upcoming June 28th meeting at Marlborough College in Brattleboro, Vermont. This is to help you get ready for our meeting. We'll start at 8:30 with putting out coffee, and we'll begin the formal meeting promptly at 9 o'clock, so be sure to be there by 9. As usual, we'll begin with welcome, introducing ourselves, talking about what helps at meetings, and assigning roles like timekeeper and the rudder. The next piece of business will be my report, where I'll be talking about some news from our federal partners, and then Susan will be talking about what we've accomplished at the State House this year. Finally, we'll want to tell you a little bit about an amicus brief that we filed recently in State Superior Court. Amicus is a fancy Latin word for friend of the court. This is a friend of the court brief that talks about eligibility for services. I think you'll find it pretty interesting. We want to have the full council have weighed in on to agree that the council should be filing this brief. So we will be taking a vote from you all after we explain the content of it. The next business will be the President's report. Miriam has asked that we orchestrate some small group conversation about the format of our meetings. We're wondering if the 4-meeting, 6-hour format is working for everyone, or if a different format would work better. So we'll break into small groups and talk about that for a little bit. Then we'll turn to the election of our vice president. We have 2 candidates this time for vice president, Mike Rudicke and Lisa Rudikoff. And if you're not familiar with their background or want to remind yourself, you can read the bios or have them read to you. They're in your meeting packet. After that, we'll have a short 10-minute break. Then we'll move into some fairly heavy lifting with the financial reports. There'll be 2 pieces of financial business we need to talk about. The first comes from this worksheet, worksheet 1 in your packet. And what we're talking about there is going to be a look at whether the staff is spending money within the budget that you voted for this current fiscal year. Spoiler alert, we are living within the budget that you voted. In fact, so much so that we're a little underspent. We're about $64,000 underspent in the current federal fiscal year. Next, very importantly, one of the duties of councils is that they must vote for an annual budget. So this document in your meeting packet is the proposed budget for our next fiscal year, which starts October 1st. And what you have here is last year's budget, what we're recommending, what the executive committee is recommending is this year's budget, and whether there's any difference. I think you'll be pleased to see that there's a good amount of money available to make grants. That will conclude the financial report, and after that we're going to have a short training on the topic of conflict of interest. We want to make sure that this is a set of guidelines that everyone on the council understands what it means for them and when they should vote or when they should excuse themselves from voting. We'll also take a little bit of time to prepare for the legislators who are going to be visiting us at lunch. We had a great turnout the last time we were in southern Vermont, so we expect that we will have some elected representatives join us, and we'll just talk about how to use that time well. That'll be followed by lunch for an hour. And at 1 o'clock, we'll come back together to continue our business. The first item is a report from our program committee. You'll remember that our program committee is a new committee made up of Mike Rudicke, Steve Kieselstein, Kay Stambler, and Terry Holden. And they've been working very hard. They've met a couple of times, and they'll be talking about 2 things. First, how we're doing on our 5-year plan and whether there are any gaps or areas in the 5-year plan where we really haven't made any progress. And then number 2, they're going to have a group of ideas they want to put before you as requests for proposals that we might put out in August. One of the themes you're going to be hearing a lot from me at this meeting is that we need to get money out the door. We really need to start spending our budget and getting some projects going. That reason for this has to do with some changes in the federal rules, and we need to be faster about moving money along. So after that, we will have a 10-minute break, And then we need to look at a series of potential changes to our 5-year state plan. And that is this document in your packet. Remember that our 5-year plan is a living, breathing document, and every August 15th, we're allowed to file changes with our federal partners. We didn't file changes last year, but we do have some changes that the executive committee would like to make this year. Some are minor and just have to do with making the plan more consistent, but in some places they're more significant changes, including adding a new objective. So we will do that. And then finally, we'll be joined by our membership committee, which will be reporting on interviews they've done with a number of people. We've had 7 applications, which is great, and they'll be recommending some folks to fill the 3 to 5 open slots that we have on our council. That will pretty much conclude our main business. There'll be public comment, and then our meeting will adjourn at 3 o'clock. I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks.